The increasing gale or storm signal number 9 is now in force. A government-appointed committee to discuss the procurement of a new generation of COVID vaccines. And more than 2,000 people killed in a powerful earthquake in Afghanistan. Hello and welcome to TVB News. The observatory issued the increasing gale or storm signal number 9 at 7 p.m. The observatory had earlier said if the hurricane winds of Typhoon Coinu edge closer to Hong Kong, there might be a need to issue higher tropical cyclone warnings. As of 7 p.m., Typhoon Coinu was centered around 70 kilometers south of the Hong Kong observatory.
In the past few hours, Coinu moved steady towards the western part of the Pearl River estuary. Coinu is a mature typhoon, with its eye wall edging closer to the seas south of the territory. Gale winds are already prevailing in many places in the southern part of Hong Kong, and winds may strengthen further.
This forecast shows Coinu will move northwest or west-northwest slowly, edging closer to the Pearl River estuary. The intense rain bands associated with Coinu are affecting Hong Kong. Heavy squally showers are expected to continue tomorrow. In Heng Fa Chun, there was strong wind and rain this afternoon. Mimo Singai begins our coverage.
This is Heng Fa Chun in eastern Hong Kong Island, which is often regarded as a typhoon black spot. Waves are rough with swells. To protect against potential damage that Coinu could bring to residents, many people used tapes to reinforce doors and windows of the residential buildings. Similar protective measures are taken on balconies. As one of the precautions against Typhoon Coinu, the Leisure and Cultural Services Department has installed several flood barriers at Heng Fa Chun between the residential area and the waterfront. While the observatory has urged the public to stay indoors, some still decided to experience the strong wind and rain brought by Coinu. This woman who traveled to Heng Fa Chun from Tsuen Wan said she is not afraid of the adverse weather because there are barriers in the area. This boy, who is a frequent visitor at the typhoon hotspot, also said he is not concerned about the weather. I think it is possible for the typhoon to remain until Monday, meaning I may have an extra holiday, he said. Nonetheless, the strong wind has caused damage across the city. This morning, some tree branches fell and hit two cleaners in Happy Valley. One had a head injury and was sent to the hospital. Leung Wing Mo, a former assistant director of the observatory, said residents should not underestimate the power of Coinu, although its circulation is smaller. While Leung said it is not uncommon to see a typhoon in the city in October, it is rather unusual for a typhoon to edge so closely. Mimo Singai, TVB News.
Public transport across Hong Kong has been seriously affected by Typhoon Coinu. Most bus and ferry services have already suspended operations. Timothy Lee tells us more.
With Typhoon Coinu edging closer to the city, the SAR's public transport companies have made extensive service readjustments. Sun ferry services traveling between Central and Cheung Chau and Mui Wo have halted since 2:30 this afternoon. Some residents of outlying islands had to rush back home on the last available ferry rides around noon. This woman said she was supposed to work today, but had to return to her home on Cheung Chau because of the typhoon. Some mainland tourists only found out about the typhoon when they reached the pier, but chose to continue on their trip. This visitor says she immediately headed for the islands after arriving at the city, but had no idea about the tropical storm. Other ferries, such as Star Ferry services traveling between Tsim Sha Tsui and Central and Wan Chai, as well as Fortune Ferry rides between Central and Hung Hom, have also been suspended. This situation is similar on land. Bus services, including City Bus, Kowloon Motor Bus, and Long Wind Bus, suspended their operations hours after the number 8 signal came into force. Meanwhile, MTR rail services, including the light rail, will remain in operation. Trains will be available every 15 minutes on the Kuntong, Chunwan, and Island lines, while they will arrive at intervals of 10 to 20 minutes on parts of the Chongchong, Tunma, and East Rail lines. MTR Bus, however, is not in operation. At the high-speed rail's West Kowloon station, many tourists rush to purchase tickets seeking the train service as an alternative to flying. This tourist from Russia said her flight was cancelled and had to come to the West Kowloon station to get a ticket. The MTR said it will continue to work with mainland public transport authorities. The airport authority said operations remain normal, but expects up to 90 flights will be cancelled throughout the day, with an additional 130 delays. The Airport Express suspended its services at 7 p.m. after the observatory issued the increasing gale storm signal number 9. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
As of 5 p.m., the government received no reports of flooding or landslides. Neighborhoods which were hardest hit by last month's rainstorm, such as Wong Tai Sin, have stepped up precautionary measures against floodwater. Meanwhile, some businesses have remained open during the storm. Jackie Lin reports.
Among the memorable sights from last month's black rainstorm is this waterfall along the stairs near Wong Tai Sin Temple. In preparation for Typhoon Coinu this time, flood barriers have been put in place. No signs of flooding as of yet. As for the basement at the north wing of Temple Mall, which was submerged by floodwater last month, prevention efforts were beefed up too with flood barriers and sandbags. Business as usual for some shops as well. When asked if the prevention efforts are enough, this resident laments how the typhoon hits the city again before repair work is completed. Another flood-prone hotspot lay Yu Moon. Torrential downpours were seen in the afternoon, but no flooding was reported. Unlike Typhoon Sala last time, many people are still out and about under Typhoon Coinu here in Causeway Bay. Over in North Point, this tea house posted a notice saying double service fees will be charged under the storm. This patron said it is reasonable as it's more dangerous for the restaurant staff to commute to work. This customer, meanwhile, was not informed about the double charge before taking a seat inside. Meanwhile, the Drainage Services Department established an emergency incident control center to step up inspections on the city's sewers and drains. Apart from coordinating with relevant departments, including the Fire Services Department, the spokesperson said the center has sent 70 teams to station and patrol in various districts. It reminds residents living near water to stay alert to the changes in weather and consider evacuating when there are risks of flooding. Jackie Lin, TVB News.
Macau had issued Typhoon Signal number 8 by mid-afternoon. It is expected to last throughout the night. Under the influence of the typhoon, many residents were rushing home. Most public transport services gradually stopped running. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge has been closed. The Macau government urged drivers to park their vehicles in a safe place. It's understood the government's Scientific Committee on Vaccine Preventable Diseases will hold a meeting on Wednesday to discuss the procurement of a new generation of COVID vaccines. Respiratory disease expert David Hui says he expects the city's COVID caseload will reach its peak again between this month and the end of this year. Jackie Lin reports.
Speaking with TVB News, respiratory disease expert Professor David Hui from the Chinese University of Hong Kong said that lately some 100 to 120 COVID patients are admitted to hospitals every day. Professor Hui said the COVID pandemic previously peaked between April and May this year, and antibody levels of local residents are expected to decline after around half a year. So the next peak for the city's COVID caseload should be between this month and the end of this year. The XBB variant will remain the dominant strain in circulation. Currently, Hong Kong's COVID vaccines cannot prevent infections involving the XBB variant. Hui, who is also a member of the government's Scientific Committee on Vaccine Preventable Diseases, revealed the panel will consider procuring 3 brands of XBB targeting COVID jabs. Hui said the jabs could help generate antibodies against XBB variants, as well as 2 COVID strains in circulation overseas, e.g. 5.1 and BA2.86. 2 of the 3 brands involved are Moderna and Pfizer. Both use the mRNA technology just like BioNTech. The 3rd brand is a protein-based vaccine. Its 2nd and 3rd phases of clinical trials are ongoing, but preliminary data is available. Dr. Hui added these XBB targeting jabs have similar side effects as existing vaccines, such as pain and swollenness near the injection site. Some vaccine recipients might experience a mild fever, fatigue, and sore muscles after inoculation. When the new generation of vaccines is introduced to Hong Kong, Professor Hui said he expects the government would only subsidize the vaccination of high-risk groups, including the elderly and pregnant women. Jackie Lin, TVB News.
Overseas, a powerful magnitude 6.3 earthquake shook western Afghanistan Saturday, killing 2,053 and injuring 1,340 more. The quake shook Herat and neighboring Badghis and Farah provinces on Saturday. The most affected area is the Zandajan district in Herat, where, according to officials, 13 villages were utterly destroyed. The first tremor occurred around 11:10 local time, forcing local residents to leave their houses. International organizations and local authorities have sent rescue teams to the affected areas. It is one of the deadliest earthquakes to hit the country in 2 decades. Still ahead, and locally, the search for a missing secondary school student continues. Back locally, Financial Secretary Paul Chan has made an upbeat assessment of the city's economy, saying business has returned and the number of incoming tourists has reached 70 to 80% of pre-pandemic levels. With over 1 million tourists coming to the city during the National Day holiday period, Chan said prosperity has returned to local businesses, with personal consumption reaching 90% of pre-pandemic levels. Speaking on a radio program, Chan said everyone should join hands to promote the economy, which would make Hong Kong more attractive to visitors. The financial secretary also commented on the city's drive to attract strategic enterprises to set up office or expand their operations in Hong Kong. He said early newcomers will help create a cluster effect, which will help attract more companies to the city. Authorities continued their search for the missing diocesan boys' school student for the 4th day amid the number 8 gale or storm signal earlier today. Police were searching around Ma On Shan Country Park, stressing they will not give up despite the poor weather. 17-year-old Matthew Tsang was last seen on Wednesday afternoon when he took the MTR to Shek Mun Station and walked towards the country park near Hang Seng University. Tsang's family revealed the boy suffered from stomach and mental health problems recently. Authorities have called upon anyone with information to contact the police. That's the news. Thanks for watching, and stay dry and stay safe. Bye for now.